This is Aussie Mac Zone. We'll cover everything Apple, including Macs, iPhones, iPads, and more. All this from an Aussie perspective. Sit back, relax, insert yourself into the zone. The Aussie Mac Zone.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this very unorganised episode 200. Believe it, 200, and we've got millions of people here to celebrate. So I'll start off with Garth. How are you, my friend?
Hello, Michael. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Good. I'm glad you could make it. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, I know. I had to open the door, come in this room, and hook up some cables. It was bloody hard, but I did it.
Good man. And we've also got Nick, our superstar here.
Hello, Michael. How are you?
Good, mate. Glad to see you could make it for this special episode. And now, the superstar of Australian tech podcasting, Glenn. Glenn, our mate Glenn
Hello.
is here. Hello, Glenny.
Hello, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Gleno.
And he's sitting right beside me. Aren't I lucky?
Yes.
I can just put my
I don't
finger
know.
up.
Can I just say that Nick's microphone, you'd swear blind, he's in the control room of the BBC. He's got this little push button jobby thing and pushes it down like an old CB radio. It's funny.
Hey, you know how much money we spend in this place?
Oh no, spare no expense.
It's only the best. Only the best. Gleno.
So don't forget, everybody, we are brought to you by athwebhosting.com.au. And I actually personally know the boss, and he's very easy to get along with, and it's an awesome site, and it's getting quicker. And we used to say it was 99.99% uptime, but now we know it's the 5 nines. We heard it referred to today as the 5 nines, which is 99.999% uptime.
I know. I think only the cloud hosting gets 100
Yes.
because of its redundancy.
So don't forget, you've got that industry standard C panel that I love so much. You get 24/7 ticketed support. You can pay whenever you like. You can sign up. You can get your domain names.
Oh, hang on.
Garth,
Have you got a
some?
deal for me? Can pay whenever I want. I'll have the service for about 4 or 5 years,
Yeah.
and I'll pay you then. All right.
But
How
wait,
about that?
there's more.
And now the fine print. So yeah, a great little establishment, athwebhosting.com.au.
Yes, very good.
So, a couple of little news stories, and then I've got some other things for you. So, Ireland seeks a custodian, so that because of this stupid little Apple Ireland versus the European Union deal, where they want all this money from Apple for taxes that Ireland hasn't asked for. So Apple's going to pay the money to Ireland, and then they're going to put it with a custodian while the court cases rage for another couple of years, and it's $19.1 billion US.
Who gets the interest on that?
Apple.
Oh, that's all right. They can't be too upset then.
Yeah. So they may as well keep it somewhere, and I hope they bring it over from America too, just to give Donald a hard time.
But you could get political with this, couldn't you? Not US politics, but like, why does Ireland have to collect money on behalf of the EU just to give it back?
Because the story is that Ireland owes the European Union money
Why?
for loans that they've been given.
Right.
For loan or membership, or is it loans or yeah?
I thought it was loans, but yeah, it might be membership or whatever.
Yeah.
But it hasn't paid back yet
Right.
because it can't afford it.
Right.
So the union said, well, you just get the money from Apple. They owe you the money. Get it from them and then pay us.
But why does Apple owe Ireland the money?
Because of being in there and earning all this money in Ireland.
But Ireland doesn't want it.
But
That's right.
yeah, they don't owe Apple. Apple doesn't owe them the money.
Yeah.
But the EU quite rightly points out, hey, you know what, guys, you're giving these very, very favourable conditions to all these multinational companies. You could easily make the money that you owe us.
Yeah.
It's like, Excuse me, there's $5 on the ground there. You owe me $5. Could you please pick it up and give it to me? Nah, she'll be right.
Is that like what's happening over here in Australia with the banks? Like they're making so much money that it's obviously obscene. So then, okay, we'll just tax them. Like, is that?
That's right. Yep.
So Apple's making so much money. Okay, we'll just tax them.
We'll just get it one way. If we can't get it one way, we'll get another. Well, we'll try.
The EU, the unelected.
Yeah.
That'd be the UE, wouldn't it?
So also, have you got any comments, Garth, for that little
Yeah,
EU?
look, I could, just to play devil's advocate, they have set up a whole heap of very favourable conditions, which has brought a lot into their country. So, and they, as long as it wasn't Apple only, and they decided, you know what, okay, maybe we'll take our corporate tax rate to something slightly closer to the national, international average.
But why should they?
It smacks a little bit to me, like it really does. It smacks a little bit to me, like someone who owes, you know what? I owe childcare to my ex-wife. I really don't want to pay it, so I'm not going to get a job.
Yeah. Yes. That's right. Yes. Yeah.
and no, that's not how it works, folks.
But I know it's the price they pay for being a member of the union.
Yes.
They get told
If you want to be a member, and you have ways of making yourself more solvent than you currently are.
Yeah.
And obviously, if they go down that track too far, they just shot themselves in the foot, and all the international companies that come to Ireland in order to escape corporate tax rates of their own nations are going to pull out. But there must be some room to move in there, I think.
Well, it's all going to happen when the US reduces their tax rate to 15%. That'll set the cat amongst the pigeons all around the show.
That will, yeah. Exactly, yeah,
And
that's
no
right.
one's going to be telling them to charge their companies more to pay someone else.
Yes.
No.
But anyway.
Well,
Interesting times.
it's a marketplace, isn't it? It's a marketplace. Yeah.
That's right.
If only we were part of it.
Well, Apple's got so much
Oh, I don't
money.
know. I'm pretty happy over here. It's probably a good thing we're not part of that one.
It's too cold in Ireland for a start.
How's your internet going, Garth?
Oh, look, you know what, mate? I have an RFS date, a ready for service date with NBN.
Oh, no.
I know, October the something.
Oh, really?
So-
That's a couple of months.
Yes, I am both dreading and so excited.
Yes.
Well, that's when Garth takes over the show. You know that, don't you?
You know what that'll be? You know what that will be, Michael? That will be when I'll say, I'll see you next Tuesday. And then I say, hey, Michael, still don't have any internet. It's still not back on.
I don't have
The
any
switch.
internet at all. Yeah.
I don't have any internet. And NBN Co have told me they don't know when it's going to be fixed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
You'll be on NBN 1.
I'll be, I think I'm on one of the new HFC rollouts in this
Oh,
zone.
right.
Yeah.
But how can
Yeah, so
HFC, why would you be on the HFC? You don't have that going past your house, though, do you?
no, I don't, but they are rolling out fresh HFC
Oh,
in some
okay.
areas.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Well, that means Glenn's going to live at your place now. He's going to set up a little aerial that points to his place.
I don't think so. I think he's quite happy the way he's set up at.
Oh, I need the NBN because I get 2.15 up, and that's still not enough for Facebook Live. I need 5.
That's
at
right.
least.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's pretty poor. But anyway.
Oh, you poor thing. Only 2.5. I get 0.3 on a good day.
Well, you know.
So I've made Wi-Fi work over a 1 mile distance between a house and a house
Right.
with special aerials
Yeah.
and nothing else in the way. There was no other houses or anything.
Yeah.
And the only
that's all
time it wouldn't work is if it was foggy.
right. But there's not
Wow.
many real world examples you can use that, though, is there?
No.
Like,
No, that was out in the country on a
was gonna
sheep
say.
farm.
I was going to say on a cattle station.
Yeah.
Sheep farm cattle stations.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
got to be where that sort of thing happens.
But worked like a beauty. It was great, except in the fog. So another little interesting story to do with Apple was a new Apple ad does some voice-first education with The Rock and Siri. So how do you teach people how to use an interface that's invisible? That's been the marketing communications problem for Apple since the day Siri became the first big mass market voice assistant. They've taken a stab after stab at it, and the splash page that offers Siri suggestions if you activate it and don't say anything, TV spots, tooltips, app store promotions and interviews, and you may not have read much about how much they're putting into Siri. So what they've done is they've got, what's his name? Chris the Rock. So
The Rock?
let's see if,
Johnson.
Yes.
The next president.
let's see if I can get some sound happening on this one.
This one's for Earth. This one is for Earth.
Bingo. Boom. Love that one. Felt it.
Yeah, felt good. Hey Siri, read my schedule.
You have 25 appointments at 7:15,
Oh, look.
7:20.
You're on the telly.
With so many projects in the works, it seems like Dwayne Johnson can't possibly take on any more.
Well, that sounds like a challenge.
Hey, Dwayne, where we going, buddy?
So, yeah.
Buddy, hey Siri, show me my life goals list.
I found 10 reminders.
Thank you very much. Hey Siri, give me a Lyft ride to LAX.
Lyft can get you a lift in 60 seconds.
Mind if I drive? I know a shortcut.
You're,
Hey Siri, what's the temperature in Rome today?
The high temperature for today in Rome will be 80 degrees, and the low will be 59 degrees.
So, do I pay you? It's on me. This is your new captain speaking. Looks like we have nice weather coming up for Rome, Italy, and so sit back, relax.
plane's going to Akron.
This flight's going to Rome. Hey Siri, read me my last email.
At 9:30 a.m., Visvin sent you an email about Mr. Nakamura can discuss your fashion line.
I'm out. Hey Siri, show me photos of my fashion line. Hiroka-san, what do you think?
It doesn't really matter what I think. What do you think?
Oh, I think it's showtime. Everything in life is made up of 4 elements. Wind, fire, water, rock. Hey Siri, text Chef Ludo. I want to cook. Hey Siri, how many ounces in a centiliter?
1 centiliter is 0.34 fluid ounces.
Messi, give me some. Hey Siri, play my practice playlist.
Hey, Siri, FaceTime, Dwayne.
Making a FaceTime call to Dwayne.
Okay, when are you getting back to set? Everybody's freaking out here, man. You still got the last shot.
Don't worry, I'll be there, okay?
Okay, I'm gonna go get fired.
Bye. Bye. Hey Siri, take a selfie. Hope I don't cause an eclipse.
I promise he'll be here. He's very punctual. Just roll or do whatever.
If you say so. All right, let's roll film, please. This one's for Earth. All right, that felt good.
DJ, that was amazing, man.
You okay? Of course you are.
It's a long ad, isn't it?
That is a lot.
Okay, how long? Yeah. So before,
Now I can see why everyone thought it was me. I've still got 40 seconds to go, but yeah,
jump onto YouTube. I'm sure you'll find it in about 30 seconds flat, or 5 even.
yeah.
I remember before this came out, I was looking at the news, and there's a new movie coming out with The Rock and Siri.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're not far off. Not far
That's
off.
right. Yeah, they had started off as a movie and then changed to an ad.
It's actually
but,
only an ad.
It's pretty
We just
long.
played the movie.
Pretty much, it felt like it.
Yeah, so that's all right, I suppose.
So
Indeed.
yeah, I didn't know you could take selfies with it, but I've learned something. So
There you go. That's going to
that-
come in handy. That one.
That's in the new version of iOS coming, or is it available now?
well, that should be available now if they're putting.
Pull out
if
your
they're
phone and give it a go,
advertising
Glenno, and let's find out.
What do you got to do? Take a selfie.
it. We just go.
Hey Siri. She ignores me.
Hey Siri, take a selfie.
Oh yes.
Ready, set, go. Come on. Didn't take the photo.
You must have to push it yourself.
Got it all ready.
She's
It
hopeless.
just brings it up into that mode. Brings
Yeah.
the camera up in that mode.
Yeah, but you got to push the button yourself.
Yeah, you take it when you want to take it.
Yeah, and you must
but
have done it from the volume control.
Yes. But yeah, The Rock, eh? He's all right.
It's all right. What's
He's
up,
all
mate?
right.
Yeah, mate.
Well, you got lots of different expressions in there, so hope that works for him.
Now, I've got a question.
Oh no!
As you know, I've ventured deep into the Apple den, where everything around this place is Apple, 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 except for one thing. What is that Microsoft mouse doing here?
Aren't they beautiful mice?
They are very nice. Little
Yeah.
flippy floppy one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want
thing.
buttons on your mouse, don't you? That's the thing.
one of
He
these
just wants a button.
Very curved mice with the folds up,
There you
folds
go.
down, little spot for the USB stick,
How is that allowed
and that's
to
probably
live?
10 years old.
Yeah, right. Oh, it's good to know that you try new things.
While you're there, Glenn, just squash it, mate. So you'll have to replace it with one of these Apple ones.
With the nipple.
Yeah. They're nice though. The nipple.
They
Yeah.
are nice.
Those they're totally function. You know, there's no
Careful.
form over function. Let's say form over function. But they are beautiful. Those mice that they have at the moment. Have you seen the just smooth and curved and whole top clicks?
Oh, look, they do make some good stuff. I'll give them that. Yeah, some nice stuff. But where's Johnny Ives been? He's been a bit quiet.
He's working away.
Is he? Good.
He's got to finish off the bloody spaceship, doesn't he?
Well,
He's got to make sure the door handles are all not just right.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
and the tree planters.
And the tiles
Exactly.
are square, and
Yeah, very square tiles.
Yeah.
You've never seen tiles so square. Doesn't that fill you with joy and blessings? Ben?
I've got tingles all over.
I don't know. I it's a bit of a trope that I get sick of hearing, to be honest. Like, where's Johnny Ives been? I don't think there's any indication from what we've seen with Apple's current new releases that there's an issue in that thing. My AirPods, they're one of the coolest things that I've used as a new Apple product in ages. I just
Right.
picked up one of these. It's just a Bluetooth keyboard, you know. The
the new Apple one.
the smart whatever they call it,
Yeah,
the magic Bluetooth keyboard, full size keyboard
with numbers.
with number pad. Yeah, I mean it's a keyboard, right? It's nothing. It's a keyboard.
Yeah.
Who cares? But it's beautiful. It works perfectly, and it's beautiful. To go, where's Johnny? I just don't think it's a relevant question. There is no put it this way. Okay, is he quiet from the public eye? Yeah, maybe. Does it matter? Are we seeing that in a lack of product? I don't think so.
No, but I think I'm just saying it in jest. I'm not actually using it.
Oh, I know, but it's just one of those things. It's a current. that's a-
Everyone says, yeah.
yeah,
okay,
Yeah, it's a,
right.
yeah, you know what I mean. It's just a.
Just because
Anyway.
he's got one of those kids' books named after him, like "Where's Johnny?" Doesn't mean anything.
Well, there you go. He's just trying to live it up.
You
That's
got to
right.
find Johnny Ives in this double page of just white.
While he's wearing his white clothing.
That's right.
Where's Johnny on the North Pole? Where's Johnny on the
Yeah.
South Pole? Where's Johnny on the North Face?
There's Johnny with Santa. Oh, where?
Actually, someone write that down. That's a bloody good idea.
Publish that. We'll do it for Christmas
Yeah.
this year. We can give it away for prizes for our 200th
There you go.
episode.
Yeah, I'll just
I like
I'll staple a couple of reams of paper together. Just scribble on the front.
Where's Johnny?
Published.
Oh man.
Self-published.
Written by Glenn and Garth.
Yep.
Stapled by Glenn.
It's a ream. We'll get about 100 books out of one ream of paper.
That's right.
Exactly right. Best
So,
book you'll ever see.
All the prize winners tonight, hold your breath waiting for for your new book.
For your Where's Johnny?
Do you give prizes away on this show?
Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
For our 200th episode,
Yeah, right.
our listeners are so clever.
Yeah.
As you know, you've been complaining all day because we've been getting messages saying, can't wait for the 200th, looking forward to the 200th. You were rattling them off while we were at this meeting all day today.
Yep, I know.
Kept on interrupting.
I thought, I don't get messages like that on our show. I get complaints.
Oh,
So, you know, that's good. Prizes.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. What are you offering up?
Oh, Sennheiser headphones.
Nice.
There was some other stuff.
Are you going to draw these prizes when you're doing this?
During the week, something like that.
Yeah, cool.
give people a bit of time to hear this episode. I
That's
reckon.
right.
Hear the 200th and maybe
Be amazed.
draw them next week or something like that.
Yeah, nice work. There you go.
Awesome.
I need prizes on Aussie Tech Heads. I've got to lift me game.
Yeah, just because your show has won a prize as Australia's best Australian tech podcast.
Oh, you know.
As voted by the public.
That's right. That is true. That's true.
Exactly right. It's our
I'm still waiting for my
award-winning.
check for that too, Glenn.
Yeah, it's in the mail.
Those 5,000 votes we did each. My hands are sore.
I had to create about 50. I had to create so many new email addresses to do that.
It's all in jest, people, please.
Yes, totally.
I'll buy you a beer, Garth, when it gets a bit warmer.
Righto, mate. The dog and parrot. Dog and
Yeah,
parrot.
for sure.
So we've been going for, like 5 years sort of thing, haven't we? Yeah. It's about 5 years again since you
hang on.
reopened the show.
Can't be that long.
Yeah, well, 4 years, I suppose, for 200, thereabouts.
Yeah.
And then I think the show existed in its original, say, format or whatever about just after the iPhone came out.
Mm-hmm.
That was a while ago. And then, you rebooted it 4 years ago. So that's all right. That's good. You and Garth?
Oh, no, it was you and Jason to start with, I think.
You, Jason, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, right, yes. Oh,
Yes.
it's too long ago. But
I know.
Most importantly is you guys have taken it forward and given prizes away, so that's good.
So that's the thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's very good. Very pleased.
So Garth, what do you reckon's, like over the last 4 years, what do you think's the biggest news story to come from Apple, in your opinion?
4 years, the biggest news story. I don't know. That's there's a lot of little news stories that probably didn't garner a lot of interest at the time, or things like, and we haven't heard a lot from them since. But I think we will still continue to see the fruits of them. Things like HealthKit, totally out of left field, right? HealthKit, you hardly ever hear about it. Things like that, things like the machine learning that we're seeing now, and augmented reality. What I think we've seen from Apple in the last 4 years is an expansion dramatically from being a technology company or a computer company, iPhones, whatever, into a whole heap of other fields. Still all centered around, well, to be honest, it's still all, powered by and centered around this thing here, the iPhone, right?
The iPhone, yeah.
But we know they're working on the car, right? We know they've got so many people doing stuff around health. I think under Tim Cook, we've seen a massive change in Apple's corporate responsibility.
Yeah.
And it is a Tim Cook thing, I think. His commitment to improving, he clearly is someone who doesn't just want to make a heap of money. He does want to make a heap of money, right?
Yeah.
He wants the Apple to be successful, but he does, and I think they do it in a responsible manner compared to so many companies. Apple are always the ones getting the blame for, child labor in Taiwan
and that.
These Taiwan and factories and here and there. But Apple are the ones who, out of all the tech companies, out of all the products that we use, they're the ones who are really pushing to improve those situations. You don't see Samsung getting hauled over the coals for the same thing. You see Apple getting hauled over the coals, but they are the ones who are actually trying to do something about that stuff. I don't think you can, and it's an amazing feat that he's done to have so many focuses that are not about a return on investment. However, has made the most successful company in the world.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I think he's ridden a lot on the back of
still making money hand over fist.
Yeah.
Like I would say, I don't know, thinking about maybe big controversies, like the removal of the headphone jack in the iPhone. That was a big thing that most people won't forget.
It was controversial at the time.
Yeah.
Yes. Have we moved on?
Oh, okay.
Have we?
I'd forgotten.
Who cares?
Because I haven't had to deal with the phone.
I think the iPad Pro, although I haven't got one, that was important for businesses.
Yep.
And I think just that what they were 1 and 2 of the world's biggest company, dollar wise, value wise, and they've got 100 billion in the bank, like just massive amounts of money.
I think it's closer to 200 now, isn't it?
Oh, there you go. That record just keeps on getting broken.
That's right. Yeah.
They were worth more than Exxon.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And like I said, he's done that in a responsible manner.
Yeah, I think he has. I think he dealt with the Taiwan issues pretty swiftly. And what's his focus now? He's trying to focus on cars, the Apple car, the Apple TV. Was that ever going to be anything?
Well, it depends whether they can sign any contracts or not. That's basically where we're stuck at the moment.
Okay, right. But yeah, I just think just little things or big things like that. Just their profitability's probably stuck out for me over the last 4 years. Just continued the upward trajectory.
Yeah. But they're not the biggest company, but they're the most profitable.
But they were the big. Oh, how do you mean the biggest? As
well,
in
HP or Lenovo or Asus or Acer or.
But as in what sales of
product? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But more profitable than Exxon.
Yeah.
Here and there, they sort of swap.
Oh,
I think.
very profitable.
Yeah. Or they sell lots of phones, but
when
nowhere
we're
near as
looking
many
at
as
biggest
Samsung.
company, we're looking at.
Yeah. What about yours?
Well,
Michael?
yeah.
I just think, just hearing of what's coming through at the moment, like you say, with the VR and AR and HealthKit and HomeKit, the way they've changed the rules for HomeKit a little bit, hopefully that'll get it kicked off because I love my HomeKit stuff. I think the best is still yet to come. So I think that's great for us. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. As a consumer, of course, that's right. It's always. Well, we went to a seminar today, and you look, they go through the roadmap of what's coming, and obviously any roadmap's exciting, isn't it? Apple more so.
Yeah, but they don't tell us at Apple.
It is, yeah.
Just but it's all the little things that here's a little bit of software, and here's just another little bit of software, and just another little bit of software, and 2 or 3 years later, that's a massive injection of money just rolling into them over and over again. But also saving lives, like with HealthKit at the same time, saving lives.
Yeah.
Very good.
Here's one.
Yep.
Swift.
Swift. Yeah.
The release of Swift and its adoption has been, I think, from this closed company that never shares anything. They've made They've made it open sourced.
Yeah.
And there is a really strong community behind it that's built up from that, with people wanting to use it in servers and various places. That was something no one saw coming.
Yeah.
Another big one is the change to APS. What do they call it? Is it APS? Yeah. APFS.
APFS, the file system.
The audacity. The audacity to, in an over-the-air update, switch out the entire file system under your operating system is, I think, incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I think the key word there, Garth, is over the air. That's the that's the amazement of it, isn't it? Yeah.
That's one of the.
Gutsy.
And just a
Sorry.
very, very gutsy.
But I think, don't you think one of the best things Apple probably, I think probably ever did, which goes back to the original iPhone, was to have the agreements that the telcos didn't have to get involved. Like they basically all agreed
Yes.
to it, didn't they? You know, we don't have to get involved to do the updates.
No, that's
Well,
right.
they couldn't get anyone to agree to it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They initially couldn't get anyone to agree to it until they got this little old AT&T to do it.
Yeah.
Who weren't very popular at the
Well,
time.
they weren't
and
AT&T then either.
that agreement changed the face.
But
No,
why
I
is it
don't
still
think so.
only basically
That
only
agreement
Apple?
changed the face of Facebook.
Like Google have only just started to do it now, as opposed to Android, and that's 8 years. Like why didn't it just happen for everybody else straight away?
I don't know. Decisions for people that are on more money than us.
Because I think that's probably one of the most important things is keeping your iPhone, like your phones, safe. So just a little.
Yeah,
It might sound only a little thing that you can do. You get an over-the-air update, but when you go to that point,
Well, over-the-air updates are good.
Yeah.
I haven't had it. I don't think I've had one fail.
no, I haven't had one.
I've had more fail hooked into iTunes than over the air. So yeah, good,
So yeah,
good stuff.
you're young, Nick. Any you can think of that have
Right.
helped out the young people just to get you involved?
Not really, Michael.
What about like GarageBand or
You young people.
your DJ software?
No.
Or
Don't know you're born.
Not GarageBand.
No.
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 He likes.
Maybe Logic, but not GarageBand.
Yeah, Logic. I've tried using that before.
What do you do? Are you in a band or you do music?
Oh, I try to learning to produce. I'm a DJ at the moment.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
But trying to produce.
Do the DJ still spin the discs? Is that still the go?
It's a bit easier these days. Just basically play and sync in beat.
Yeah, okay, right.
Not really scratching and stuff, but
So do you have records?
no. I got
So-
the new stuff, like the new gear.
Right. So just all MP3s.
Yeah, basically.
Does it ever? Do you think it's ever going to move away from MP3 into another format?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
So, do you know much about the technical side of the MP3s? That's a big.
He's
shake
shaking his head, by the way.
So, if I asked you,
Haven't you heard, Glenn? MP3's dead.
well, what happened with? Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's what made me ask the question, because I was thinking, well, is there something we're going to
Yeah.
move to, or is we're just going to just ride along with the MP3 wave for ages? And but what I was going to ask Nick, if he knew, I don't know if he does. He keeps reaching for that BBC microphone. You can just picture a director. So a microphone that's on a stand, it's bent, right? And so, you know, a director or whatever, and he'll just go lean over and push the button and go, cut. That's what it is. That's what it looks like when Nick speaks. I just was interested to know what the quality of the MP3s were that DJs use. Whether I doubt it would these days be 128K. It's probably
320.
what's iTunes?
iTunes, I think, is 256.
Standard, yeah.
Right. Yeah. You can get higher.
But
quality.
it's using M4A.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, I tossed up whether or not to change
So
the podcast from MP3 to
no.
Yeah, I decided on no, because there's just too many people with MP3 only
Yep.
players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the basic story there, just to cover it quickly since it's brought up, Fraunhofer, the company that have the patents for MP3 and have since done M4A, like that's the newer codec, AAC, however you want to call it. They're all just wrappers for each other. The patent's aged off. So they no longer have, they're out of patent. So the MP3 is now, it's not dead, it's free, you know. You don't have to go through all these weird workarounds to get the lame encoder on your system. because there's no sort of restrictions now. So that's why there was this whole story about the MP3 is dead. Basically, Fraunhofer lost the patents for it. They aged off. Now, with the switch from MP3 to M4A and so forth, yes, M4A is a bit better codec. It is better at a given bit rate. It's going to sound better. But at the bit rates for audio and a podcast at 96 or 80 or 64, whatever, there's really not a significant difference. And the ubiquity of MP3 means that there's just no point in changing to M4A at this point.
Yeah, I didn't think that Fraunhofer, or however you want to pronounce them, I didn't think they were really that interested in trying to further that patent either. I think they were of the opinion that it's old, it was no good. There's plenty better technology out there that will give you a better sound, better compression. So I think they weren't really too keen on, furthering that from what I read. So everyone was happy.
That's right. It's with the decision.
Yeah.
Opus is the format that would be great to go to at this point.
Opus.
If you're going to go somewhere else, Opus. Yeah.
I
Look into
remember
Opus.
using Opus cassette tapes.
Yes.
That was one brand.
This is not the same Opus.
I didn't think so. I always used to call it Opus because the tapes were.
Terrible.
They were a bit rustier than they should have been. Yeah.
Oh, they had dropouts all over
Specials
the
from
show.
a dollar shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I'm trying to record the goodies on a cassette tape.
Goody, yum,
That's
yum.
right. From the TV, of course. I wasn't.
Yeah, with the little cassette recorder up against the speaker.
That's right. Yeah. While telling the family to be quiet.
Just shut up.
That's right. I'm recording over here.
So, yeah.
Oh dear.
That's how it was in the old days, Garth.
I know. I remember them. We're going through old tapes, and my wife had this cassette of all these 70s intro songs.
Wow.
Greatest American Hero and all the rest of them.
Oh, yes.
Jeez,
I bought a cassette or was it cassette to USB or whatever it was from Aldi for $9.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I had like 15 tapes, cassette tapes at home, and tapes of when I was a kid.
Yep.
And it's like these days it's nothing for kids to grow up and have all their stuff that they've recorded and all that. But for me, it was weird to hear me talking, when I was 8.
That's
on
awesome.
a wax barrel.
And what?
On a wax barrel.
A wax barrel? What the hell's a wax barrel?
You're only a
that's
little
pretty much
whippersnipper, you are.
I mustn't be that old.
Yeah.
I rolled down hills in barrels. I don't know if they were waxed or not.
That's how you made him go faster.
Probably. Made me slip around easier inside them.
All right, this week in grumpy old buggers now.
That's right. You had a patent story, didn't you, Michael?
Which one? Oh,
The Qualcomm.
The Qualcomm. Thank you for reminding
Qualcomm,
me.
Yes.
Yeah, so
I look at this one.
Intel this week joined the fight and started suing Qualcomm to do with their FRAND patents again that Qualcomm and Apple are fighting over. So the Qualcomm, Intel said the Qualcomm fees that they're charging are exorbitant for whatever, when Intel are including some of their information in their chips, obviously, that they're building, and have to pay Qualcomm some fees for the patents. But then another story came out this week about Apple just released a patch for a whole heap of Qualcomm radio chips that apparently were easily hacked, and we only just found out about it today. Going back for 3 sets of chips, and the only time it was only some iPhone 7s, because some iPhone 7 had the Intel chip and some have got the Qualcomm chip. So yeah, it was interesting. Along with all the other hassles that Apple and Qualcomm are having, is that they found out they're unsecure as well.
I thought it was funny that Apple wasn't happy that they were paying too much. Yeah, like Apple seems to jump on the patent bandwagon at a whim, aren't they? And then I guess that's just how business is, and the patents they work, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it is. You got to protect them.
Yeah.
And if you don't jump
The
on
terms
them,
that Qualcomm, well, the terms that Qualcomm have got in place are ridiculous, though, aren't they?
Yeah, because they're trying to claim a percentage of the phone value as opposed to a percentage of what makes Qualcomm better than Intel's radio chips.
right?
But that's not what makes the phone worth $1,000. Because you've got better quality RAM, better quality cameras, better quality microphones, better quality speakers, say to a Samsung phone.
Yeah.
So why does Apple have to pay more than not even a Samsung phone, like a cheap Samsung phone, which still's got the same radio chip in it. Why has Apple got to pay so much more money for the same chip?
But was that a deal that they struck? Like, was that the patent deal?
Well, that's right. You don't know, do you?
Yeah, we don't know. But, yeah, you're right. And look, you shouldn't be paying more than the next bloke if you're. Yeah,
but
right.
the deal supposedly is a
Same thing.
percentage of the value of the product, not a percentage.
They must have signed off on it to be paying it.
Yeah.
To start with. And
Yeah.
now
Now they've
not.
come up with and said, well, it's not really a value of the phone; it's a value of the product. Like,
Yeah.
which, especially now that there's two suppliers, that makes it different, doesn't it? Than it did 3 years ago when there was one supplier. Which is why Apple never want one supplier for anything.
Yeah.
They make an effort to, even when they go out and pay for all the equipment, just so LG can make batteries for the next iPhone, for example. That way they've got two suppliers, so that they can screw the price on both of them then. But they actually pay for all the equipment to make the stuff. So,
Yeah. Crazy.
any stories, Garthy? We're running out.
The only one I had was that Qualcomm one.
Yeah.
The same one.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, Garth.
That's all right, mate.
Come in and stole your story.
So I had, Wayne the Rock Johnson. There's just not a whole heap going on. I think we just, this is why we need to reminisce about old times,
How's your watch going, Garth?
Still love it, mate.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
A bit of a sad story though.
Oh, not
I
again.
got, with my son's one, because he cracked it again.
Oh.
And this time it's out of Apple Care. So we took it in, but out of Apple Care. So it's a Generation 1. It would cost $350 to replace. Buy Generation, or Series 1, the second version, for $399. So it's like, oh well, looks like you'll have to live with that black spot for a while. Hope it doesn't grow too much.
Until he saves up. Yes.
You'll have to tell him to put some sun cream on these little spots for a little while, for a couple of weeks.
Yes. Try lots of different sunscreens and see if you can find one that'll wreck the glue there, yeah.
That's right. And what sort of phone you got these days, Garth?
I'm still using a 6S.
Right. And why not a 7?
I do every second one,
Oh, okay.
typically. Yeah. So I'm just waiting for the next one to come out.
So what are we up to? A 7 or are we up to 7S?
7 Plus. Well, that's what.
This year.
7S, yes. Sorry. Not 7
so
Plus.
the-
7S we're coming up to in September.
So the 8's not like there's rumours.
Well, that might be in
The 8
September
is
as
just
well.
what they're calling it.
Right. Okay.
Who knows what it'll be called?
Yeah.
So the expectation is it's 10th anniversary, so we'll release a high-end phone. But they'll probably also just, the rumors are they'll do a iteration of the current version. So they'll go from a 7 to a 7S at a similar sort of price point, and then do a high-end one at some kind of ridiculous price point.
Yeah.
And there was an interesting story that we, might as well bring up now, that Jason Snell had written on 6 Colors, I think, or Macworld even, where one reason Apple could be doing this is typically, for an iPhone, they can't always have the newest version of the screen or whatever, because they simply cannot get that number of screens in the scale that they need them.
Yeah.
They're sort of in a unique position with any other manufacturer in having to source every single component at a scale well beyond what anyone else has to. Samsung will release 7 different versions of their phone, or whatever. So, Oh, that's all right. The one proposition that Snell has put forward is that, with this, let's call it iPhone Pro, the 10th anniversary version of the phone, all of those components that they'd love to use, but they haven't been able to use because they can't get them in the scale they need to, they can put into this product.
Yeah.
So it can be, okay, yeah, we're going to use the best of this, the best of that. We can use everything we want to use. We can charge a ridiculous amount for it. There will be constrained supply, but that's okay because it's an aspirational device. Yeah.
They might only make 100,000 as opposed to 100 million.
And,
Yeah,
that's right. And Michael was telling me just the other day about Samsung Galaxy Note 7s. They're bringing them back. I know it's not the show for it, but it's just fun.
Only in Taiwan, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah, and it's called the fan model. Yeah.
Yes.
So they're putting different batteries in them or something? And
Yeah, putting safe batteries in them and then
they don't last.
selling them and call them the fan model.
Yeah.
FE fan edition.
Yeah.
Samsung 7 FE. Well, it's kind of crazy, and I've seen a lot of people say it's crazy, but you know what? I don't think it's such a bad idea. They were these perfectly good phones, except for the battery and how big a battery they tried to shove in there.
Also,
they probably
the battery they've got in the refurbished ones. It's a smaller battery, but it's the battery that probably should have been in it in the first place.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. So they've got a beautiful bit of hardware, and it really was a beautiful bit of hardware, right? Everyone agreed at the time. Except for we really tried to go too far with the battery. So,
But FE, doesn't that stand for an explosive or something?
FE, fan edition, yeah.
Oh, fan edition, sorry. Yeah.
Frickin' fecal?
Or is that because everyone was yelling out, fire extinguisher! Fire extinguisher!
That's what it is. That's what it's short for, fire extinguisher required.
But we can pick on them, can't we?
Absolutely.
That's what we do.
But some bloke has thought, you know what, we've got all these handsets sitting around.
Yep.
Might as well do something with them.
Oh, well, it is probably better than going to landfill. And if they can become a productive use in society, well, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, that's how I feel.
Why not?
Waste not, want not.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So, I just want to remind everybody that... There we go. Yeah, don't forget our Aussie Tech Heads Radio.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And our sister podcasts, which are the Aussie Tech Security Podcast.
Yes.
And the award-winning, massively supported Aussie Tech Heads podcast.
Oh, that's right. Every Thursday we record, so jump on the iTunes and that Aussie Tech Radio. Go to aussietechradio.com. It's podcast from Australia, tech podcast, wall to wall, back to back, 24/7, 365, and it's just all available. They just play in a loop after each other, one after the other. New shows every Friday, so you always got something to listen to. And it's you need to update the webpage too over there, Michael.
Okay.
Michael's got the old slide up. I built a whole new webpage. Go to Aussie Tech.
Oh, you didn't tell me.
Yeah. AussieTechheads.com.au/podcast. Built a whole new podcast. Subscribe to newsletters. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Because I did it. That is good. A lot more functionality in it. That's a lot nicer too.
Excellent. Well, we'll try and show a new slide for that next week.
Oh, nice. Good.
Yes. So, don't forget those beautiful people. So, I've got nothing else now, my friend.
Rightio. Well, I've got one kind of crazy tip for you.
Excellent.
Before we go.
Yep.
That came about because of an accidental keystroke. So, well, firstly, maybe you don't know, and here's another tip. When you're in your file system, I was in the applications folder, and first letter navigation. So you want to jump down to chess or whatever, something that starts with C, hit C, and your focus will jump down to that to that file, right? Or in this case, in the applications folder, that app. So I wanted to open Audio Hijack before tonight, ready to record, check there were no updates. So I quickly hit A, Control-O to open, but what I accidentally hit was Control-A, Control-O. Select all, open every single app. So my poor Mac was sitting there trying to open up 90 different apps at the same time. I just walked away and left it for a while.
Yeah.
But what it did highlight to me is every single, how many apps there were that wanted to update.
Right.
And had not been updated, had not been opened. I don't use Word that often. I don't use Excel that often on my Mac. And with some of those apps like that, you open them up, and the first thing they want to do is update. So every now and then, go through, open up your apps, get them updated, let them update. So when you need to open them and use them quickly next time, they're all ready to go.
But don't open 4,000 at a time, please.
No, 90 all at once, probably not such a good idea.
But Garth, when you came back after your 3-hour wait, how did you close them all?
I started going through for a while, and then I went, there's a power button right there.
Oh.
How about I press it?
Can't you choose shut down, and then when it says open all, when you just go no?
Yeah, so you press and hold I just pressed the power button until it brought up the shutdown thing.
Yep.
Made sure it was check reopen apps on restart.
Unchecked.
And restarted. Unchecked, yeah. Unchecked that one and restarted.
Yep.
But see, the thing with me, I always have that trip mode running in the background, which is the little app that watches what's using your internet.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was like 30 or 40 apps that couldn't get the internet because they were switched. I didn't let them have the internet. So they're all screaming at me going, I've got no internet. Let me.
So if you want to slow someone down, Control A-O.
Yeah.
Control A, Control O. In their go
And
to
walk
their
away.
applications folder. Yeah.
My job here is done.
Exactly.
So I've got another little story about one of a new customer I got this week, which I'm recovering the data because he's got it like appears to be a system problem because it's passing all the hardware tests to say that his hard drive's all right. But he got one of the better known big companies that advertising on TV at the moment that say, we'll come to you and if we don't fix it, we don't charge it. But they definitely charged him for turning up and evaluating and saying it was the hard drive that's faulty. And hopefully tomorrow I'll confirm it was never the hard drive that's faulty. So he should be able to ask for his money back, I believe.
Yeah, well, there's a few of those around. No fix, no fee or something.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
But that's what they say, but they still charge him for turning up and saying, it was the hard drive and you'll have to get it from Apple to get it sorted out.
But sometimes it's one of these...
If it is a hardware issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think, Michael you pretty much determined it was hardware apart from the hard drive. Something else.
No, it's a software problem.
Oh, okay.
Just an operating software, the operating system software issue.
I was going to say, sometimes it's one of these things, where if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah.
So, like, what they're not going to offer to say, oh, hey, this is free, good on you. See you later. Thanks for the opportunity. They're not going to do that. You got to push it.
Yeah, and if it's truly a hardware issue, then there's no way they're ever going to fix it. So do they? I think it's fair enough to have a call out fee, or at least to make it very clear. Look, if I come out and find out that, your computer's not working because you tipped a cup of water on it, then it's fair enough to pay for it. But if they've just misdiagnosed and it's not a hardware issue and it is in fact a software issue, then definitely
I think it's a different thing.
You got to be careful because you might have to check. I'm not sure if it's a no fix, no fee, or no solution, no fee, because the solution could be buy another computer. So you'd have to be careful.
No, it definitely says no fix, no.
Okay.
It's been big writing, no fix, no fee. It's even on the side of the car that's on the ad that's parked in the driveway.
Well, you'll have to show me who this nefarious people are.
So, yeah. So, I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank Glenn for coming down for our 200th.
That's all right. Who said it was cold in Sydney? I don't know.
Great weather for you, mate. Nick, as producer, he does a lot of work. That was one of his magical tricks again this week, getting the weather right for you.
Excellent. Thanks, Nick.
And Garth, thanks very much, mate. Thank you for turning up this week. Again, awesome.
No problem. That's 3 nights in a row. That's a bit unusual.
200 nights in a row, yeah.
And thanks for the people that have written in to the Facebook as well. I was very impressed. Very excited for Michael and Garth. Got a few fans out there writing in the wishes, happy whatevers. I'm sure you'll get to them and read them out next week because my phone's playing up and I can't give you them right now. Sorry.
Okay.
No,
so
awesome.
Michael will pick a couple of winners on next week's show or something like that, will
Yep,
we?
yep.
So from anyone who's written in or what let people know what they need to do, I guess. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, just email us, send us something on Facebook saying well done or congratulations or we heard you. Anything.
Anything like that. Yeah.
We've got quite a few little things to give away, so yeah, please. Not necessarily worth $1 million each, but then they'd make us take out proper prize giving licenses and stuff. Wouldn't they?
one of the special prizes is a non-genuine lock of Steve Jobs' hair.
We're going to at least find someone whose name is Steve.
Yeah.
And do a job on him.
Yeah. That's right. A hatchet job.
Yeah. No, awesome. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for listening. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Garth.
Good night.
See you soon.
Happy 200.
Cheers.